Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So as today we are going to proceed with the topic of intangible non-current asset, part 2. So for this topic, we are going to focus on calculation of the intangible non-current asset after the intangible non-current asset has been recognized, record, and amortization. So we are going to do under this part. So this is a development expenditure which is already recognized as intangible non-current asset and reported in the statement of financial position. So 6 criteria need to be met, which is the first one, technical feasibility of completing the intangible asset, intention to complete and sell or use the intangible asset, ability to use or sell, which the company will expect to get economic benefit, existence of a market for output of intangible non-current asset, or internal use, adequate resources are available to complete the development and use or sale of intangible non-current asset. Attributable expenditure can be measured reliably during the development of intangible asset. Okay, as stated, International Accounting Standard 38.57, it says that the intangible non-current asset will be recognized or will be recorded when these 6 categories has been met. So at what time? When the product is able to complete or manage to be sold, to be used, or demonstrate how the asset will generate future economic benefit, or the company can estimate what is the cost for the expenditure. So when this happens, so we can recognize it as intangible non-current asset. So after this intangible non-current asset has been recognized and has been reported in the statement of financial position, at the end of accounting year, it needs to be amortization. It must be to be amortized. So according to accounting standard, the amortization should be allocated on systematic basis over the best estimate of useful life. The amortization period commences when the asset is available for use or cease when the asset is classified as held for the sale. So when is amortization will be took place? When the asset or is available to be used or is ready to be sold. At that time, we need to amortize for the cost. So factor to be considered for the current amount of the non-current asset. So this one, expected usage of the asset, typical product life cycle for the asset, technical obsolescence, stability of industry, expected competition, maintenance requirement, and the period control, dependency of the useful life of the other assets. So this is the factors that affect with the current amount of the intangible of the non-current asset. So for the amortization period, amortization method, according to accounting standard, the amortization should reflect the pattern of consumption. For example, as for the machine or machine, we use that unit of production method. But if the pattern of the asset cannot be determined, so the straight line method should be used. The amortization charge is recognized as expenses unless included correct amount of the other assets. So we know that for the accounting entry for amortization is that debit amortization expenses, credit accumulated expenses. For the debit should go to statement of profit and loss because that this is expense. And then the credit side is the accumulated depreciation that should go to statement of financial position, and it will reduce the cost of intangible non-current asset to the carrying amount. So it also can be reviewed frequently according to the period of the intangible non-current asset and method, which is the chain of pattern. What method that amortization should be used depend on the company, whether you want to use unit of production or straight line method, residual method. No, only useful straight line method or unit of production. And then the residual value is assumed to be 0 for all intangible non-current asset. The residual value is considered 0 unless a commitment by a third party to purchase the asset at the end of its useful life or active market for the assets, for an active market. So this is a factor to consider for the residual value, unless it should be 0. So this is for example 3. You are required to calculate the amount of research and development expenditure to be recognized as expense in the year ended 31st March 2015. So this one should be recognized as expense, means that what is the expenses should be recognized during the year. So this is the thing that Brooks has established for a new research and development unit. So for established for research and development, so the company has purchased a building for 100,000. So the cost for purchase of the building 400,000 is the tangible non-current asset cost. This should be reported in a statement of financial position, as the amount to be expended is the cost of the purchases, which is 4% from the 400,000, which is 16,000. Whereas wages and salaries of research staff are considered as expenses for the years. So this is calculated as the expenses. Equipment costing 60,000 is recorded as the tangible of non-current asset. As for the cost is the 50% depreciation from the 60,000, which is 30,000. So the amount should be expensed for the year is 2,401,000 should be expense for the year ended as 31st March 2015. As for the example 4, Determine the maximum amount of development expenditure which may be carried forward or remain as amortization asset at 31st July 2014 under International Accounting Standard 38. So we have two types of research and development costs here. One is 12,000 on successful devising process for converted civic into chemical XYZ. Another one cost is 60,000 and developing a headed pill based on chemical Z. So information given here, no commercial use have yet discovered for chemical X or Y. Commercial production and sale for headed pill commence on 1 April 2014 and are expected to produce steady profitable income during 5-year period before being replaced. Adequate resources exist to achieve this. So for the first one, this is considered as the research cost because there is no commercial product. What happened here, the company only convert the seaweed from the chemical X, Y, and Z. So this chemical cannot be considered as the commercial product yet. So the second phase, which is 60,000, now the company now already produced a drum of the headed page from the chemical Z. So this is commercially sales in the market on 1 April 2014. So 1 April 2014, so this 60,000 is recognized as intangible non-current asset and report in a statement of financial position. As 31st July 2014, this cost needs to be amortized for the 4 months. Start from 1 April to 31st July, we have 4 months, April, May, June, July. So this 4 years amortization for this 60,000. So is that this is 1 April 2014. Actually, 60,000 is capitalized in statement of financial position as 31st July 2014. This is amortized. The amount should be amortized, which is the 4 months over 12. You multiply with the 60,000, so the useful life is 5. So you divide with the 5, so you get 4,000. So the amount should be reported in statement of financial position is 56,000, which is the intangible non-current asset being capitalized 60,000 minus the 4,000. So the next question is that Bright Spark Limited is developing a new product, the widget. This is expected to be sold over 3 years. Period started in 2006. The forecast data is as follows. So required, determine the maximum amount of development expenditure which may carry forward or remain amortization asset at 31st July 2014 under International Accounting Standard 38. So we have, this is the 4 years related with the R&D to the widget. So on 2000X5, the company has the revenue from other activities, and also for the widget get the profit on 2006 because it's expected to be sold started on 2006. So this is the revenue from widget, and the development cost incurred since it's already uh, paid on 2005. So 90,000 it's recorded in 2005. So show how the development cost should be treated if the costs do not qualify for capitalization, and the costs do qualify for capitalization are amortized on straight line basis. So the first one, the costs do not qualify for capitalization. It means that these costs do not meet the criteria of 6 criteria that being classified in the International Accounting Standard 38. So when it doesn't meet this criteria, this 900,000 is spent in the year of 2005. As for the B, since this is meet a criteria of the intangible non-current asset, so this 900 is recorded as intangible non-current asset in Statement of Financial Position 2005, and in amortized started on 2006 at 7 and at 3. So 900,000 you divide with the 3. So you will get this one. This is the first one for the A. So all the intangible cost is considered as research cost because do not meet the intangible non-current asset criterion. So it expense during the year X5. So the company suffered loss on this year 500,000. As for B, the intangible non-current asset is capitalized, so it record in Statement of Financial Position 900,000 in 200 X5. In 2000 X5, X6, now it amortized into 3 years. So the first year is 300,000. So now the company profit has decreases by the cost. Also 2007, okay, this profits decreased by 300,000, and 2008 also the revenue profit is decreased by 300,000. So the profit, the cost of development is amortized throughout 3 years. So you can see that the company get profit for the whole for the 4 year. If the company expend it all during the year of X5, the company will suffer loss on 2000 X5. So this is the last thing you need to know about the intangible non-current asset. Actually, this is a conclusion of the intangible of non-current asset. The first one is the measurement of intangible. For the measurement of intangible asset, the first one is initial, recognition, and measurement. So according to International Accounting Standard 38, intangible asset says that an intangible asset should be measured initially at cost. Means that whatever cost been paid for the research and development cost, this amount should be recorded. This is applied in International Accounting Standard 38, paragraph 24. And the subsequent measurement is referred to the amortization. So an intangible asset should be carried in at cost less accumulated amortization. And any accumulated impairment loss. This is International Accounting Standard 38, paragraph 74. After you recognize at cost, at the end of the accounting year, you need to measure it at the carried amount, means that the cost minus accumulated amortization. And then for the value model to be applied, fair value should be measured by reference to an active market, which is International Accounting Standard 38, paragraph 75. This one applied when the company want to sell for the let's say the patent of franchise. If the company want to do franchise of certain product, for example, they want to do a franchise for Ramly, so this company purchase for the franchise, so this one must apply at the fair value, current active market value. So this franchise should be amortized. Okay, that's all for the topic of the intangible non-current asset. So you must remember about the first thing about intangible non-current asset is the definition. What is the meaning of intangible non-current asset? What example for intangible non-current asset? What is the differences between intangible non-current asset and the tangible non-current asset? And then you go about the intangible non-current asset itself, about patent. So you must Google what is patent, trademark, types of intangible non-current asset. And there we go to the goodwill. What is the goodwill? The goodwill you are going to learn on semester 2 about the goodwill. And remember, the goodwill cannot be amortized. Goodwill can be how that goodwill happen. It will come from the inherent. The goodwill come because of the name of the company. We have the four things that will make the goodwill increase for the company. And then another part is the research and development, which cost can be recognized as intangible non-current asset. As a research, what is the activity can be considered as research, and what activity can be considered as development cost, and what is cost that not research and non-development. So you need to identify this, because if this cost is considered as research, it should be spent for the year. If the company is considered as a development cost, this can, and it should meet 6 criteria, and it should be recognized as intangible non-current asset for the year, and then it should be amortized at the end of the year according to useful life throughout the year. And then the valuation after the recognition of the intangible non-current must be accurate amount, which is the cost of intangible non-current asset minus the accumulated amortization. So this is all about that you need to know about the intangible non-current asset. Hopefully you can do the exercise and know how to answer question that given by the BPP books, Kaplan or Baker. See you next chapter. Thank you.